Show tunes. We got some opera, we got some ballet, and we got some jazz. Rock and roll, too.
Big jazz.
Big jazz. Come on, make your pick. Reliable Rondo. Let's see it go.
I think we're going to see some history in the making tonight, folks. Blue Devils are going to go undefeated this year and take their 7th title. Nobody's ever done that before.
No, and this will be a real remarkable one if they can do it.
We're going to show you some things tonight, too, that you've never seen before on this broadcast. We're going to take you behind the scenes to places where the fan normally isn't allowed to go. Dennis DeLucia will be doing that. Dennis?
Well, thank you, Steve. It's a pleasure to be working on the telecast with you and Michael. We are here in the Corps entrance ramp. This is the way the Corps get onto the field in order to perform tonight. They've been here twice before, quarterfinals and semifinals. But when they turn this corner and see that full house up there, they know this is the big show. This is finals. This is where it all comes together. The anxiety, the anticipation, the rewards for all the hard work. Let's go back up to you. This is going to be a great evening of drum corps.
Absolutely, Dennis. We're happy to have you with us, and we'll be hearing more from Dennis throughout the night. Well, let's show you how the Corps got here. A long summer of touring that began with the major shows, Drums Along the Rockies. That was in Denver, and that was a win for the Santa Clara Vanguard. DCI South in Nashville. That was a win for the Crossmen. Preview of Champions. All the big guns were there for that one in Madison, Wisconsin, and the Blue Devils took it. DCI North, Canton, Ohio, another win for the Blue Devils. Then came DCI Mid-America, Champaign, Illinois, and the Cadets of Bergen County served notice that they were not about to give up their title easily. And at DCI East in Allentown, Pennsylvania, another win for the Cadets. And here we are at the World Championships tonight in Foxborough. And the first Corps is about to kick off the championship. The Colts of Dubuque, Iowa. Let's meet their drum major.
Hello, my name is Christian Baumann, and I'm the drum major of the Colts Drum and Bugle Corps from Dubuque, Iowa. Our corps director is Greg Orwell, and our production for 1994 is entitled Relations and Romance. Enjoy the show.
And they're striving for that perfect score of 100 in the semis.
They came in with an 83.
Just enough to eke past the Boston Crusaders for that all-important 12th spot.
Let's see if these guys can better this score. Here they go.
tasty way to get started with Iowa's finest, the Colts from Dubuque. You know, they are officially Iowa's drum corps, so named by Governor Terry Branstad. Michael, their second year in the finals here.
Oh, what a way to enter again. You know, they're especially successful in the areas of that visual energy and percussion performance. There's their final score, an 80.1. It's a high start, Steve, so I think we're going to see the scores be especially high tonight.
They had to make a come-from-behind surge in the semis to make this top 12, so that momentum carrying right on over into tonight for the Colts. There's their creative staff.
Oh, this is the group that's responsible for getting them in again 2 years in a row. Terrific bunch of folks.
From the nation's heartland now, we go to the deep, deep south, to Florida, for the Magic of Orlando. This corps has been on the grow for 5 years. This is their first year to make it here into the top 12.
You know, they're borrowing heavily from the famous Cirque du Soleil, the exotic European-style circus. In fact, they walked in here with an 84 even. They got here scoring that, and I can't wait to see what they do with special theatrical costumes and an all-original score.
Watch for a surprise from that podium. Right now, let's meet their drum majors.
Hi, my name is Mark Carter.
And I'm Michael Fullwood.
And we're with Magic of Orlando.
Our corps director's name is Will Craig.
And our show this year is Cirque du Magique, Part 2.
Enjoy the show.
All right, watch that podium now. The Magic with a little taste of magic. Enjoy. music of Orlando serving notice that they have arrived in the top 12 in a big way. An original program that really relied on the percussion section to tie it all together.
You know, you can tell they're from Orlando, Steve, your big hometown. It's a city where everything's a big production, and this show is no exception. Wild and rhythmic. Here's their staff, headed by Robert Smith, who's a professor at James Madison University. Very young group. Good for the future of this corps.
But the future is now, and look at that.
Oh, an 81-5. That's a drop from their semifinal score, but good enough to put them past the Colts.
We've seen two corps with dramatically different styles already tonight. Michael, how do you judge something like that?
Well, Steve, we have a brand new 7-judge system this year. The perfect score is still 100, with GE, general effect, accounting for a whopping 40% of that score. This is the big picture, a combination of visual and musical elements, the overall impact. Now, ensemble is worth 30 points. This score is determined by judges looking at the how and why of the musical and visual and how they fit together, how well the show is crafted. Finally, you have 30 points in performance. Brass, percussion, and visual each get 10 points for this individual up-close evaluation. Again, it adds up to that perfect score of 100.
So there you go. Now you know you can judge at home as we go through the nights.
No one's ever scored that perfect 100, but here's a group that I think will come as close as they can.
Hailing from the home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, we've got the Bluecoats from Canton, Ohio. The Bluecoats do the blues with a big sound.
You know, they've got a show that evokes the look and sound of a smoky Harlem nightclub. But they're anything but laid back. They come back at you with a big after-hours jam session.
They powered in here with an 84.1 in the semis. Look out for the C-Jam Blues tonight. Let's meet their drum major.
Hello, my name is Charles Stewart, drum major of the Bluecoats from Canton, Ohio. Our corps director is Bill Hamilton, and this year's show is simply titled The Blues. Hope you enjoy the show.
party. That Sea Jam blues really rocks. I think Duke Ellington would be tickled.
He sure would. That crowd is not booing, they're bluing the traditional cheer for the great sound of the Bluecoats. Canton, Ohio. You know, they have an imaginative visual that really matches the music. When we hear a jam session, we actually see a jam session. A lot of that credit goes to this great young staff with new ideas on how things should look and sound.
And the score in tonight's finals for the Bluecoats, 84.3.
Steve, that opens up a big scoring gap between the Bluecoats and the Magic of Orlando, who scored an 81.5.
As the Bluecoats leave the field, the Glassmen from Toledo, Ohio, take the stage. Now, last year at this time, the Glassmen and the Dubuque Colts made their debuts in the top 12. Tonight, they're back. What does that mean to a corps? Their directors explain.
In 12th place, the Colts.
Last year, making finals for the first time was a tremendous accomplishment for the entire organization. What was real nice about it is that we really weren't banking on that. You know, we've never really set any extrinsic competitive goals as being something we're here for. So it really was kind of a coincidence, almost a result of doing everything else well. After being in the finals, you know, all of a sudden there's a little more credibility, a little more visibility. The recruiting gets a tad easier. The money raising gets a tad easier. The kids come in expecting to be in a finalist.
Here we go, to the right, ready, hands.
We built it very slowly, very carefully. We haven't rushed and put the competitive aspects ahead of doing it in a very conservative and very consistent basis. We're looking at this as a pyramid that competitively is getting higher, and then I'm making sure that it's also getting broader so that it continues to be stable. Everything got a little bigger this year, and what we see on the field is the end result of doing all those behind-the-scenes things correctly and very strongly.
In 11th place, the Glassmen.
It's difficult to say what propelled us into finals in 1993. I'm not sure that there was one single thing that did. I think timing had everything to do with it. Our program was progressing over a period of years, and that was just the next year in a phase of growth. It's an awesome responsibility to be in the top 12. You have fans that expect you to be at a certain quality level when they see you early in June. You have fans basically that expect you to play what they want to hear, and when people come to the Glassmen, they expect a top 12 organization. And that can be difficult at times to make sure that everything is in place to continue to provide that. The organization has grown over the last 8 years significantly, primarily I'd have to say because of our philosophical foundation. Our main goal is to provide an experience of a lifetime. And an experience of a lifetime doesn't just apply to the members. It applies to the staff, the parents that help, the drivers, all of the people involved, and even equally as important, the fans. If we can create in our own little world of the Glassmen a great experience for all touched by the Glassmen, then we have truly succeeded.
And the Glassmen hope this beautiful Massachusetts moon continues to bring them good luck. We're at the Drum Corps International World Championships in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The Glassmen are next, doing the music of the Moody Blues.
This is the rock portion of our broadcast tonight. Some music you should recognize, and it's done well for them. They scored an 84.6 in the semifinals, and that should please their drum majors.
Hi, I'm Carrie Vollo.
And I'm Jonathan Miller, and we're the drum majors for the Glassmen Drum and Bugle Corps of Toledo, Ohio.
Our corps director is Dan Atchison.
This year's repertoire is The Days of Future Past, music of the Moody Blues.
Enjoy the show.
Holy Toledo, the Glassmen had a ball with the music of the Moody Blues.
Just look at those faces. The emotion tells this story, Steve. You know, this is a corps that's unafraid to try new, unique props, as well as the traditional rifles and flags. It gives the visual program texture and color.
And the creative staff that put it all together for the Glassmen. Here's a look at the roster.
There's veteran Sal Salas. You know, Steve, he's been creating great cards for as long as I can remember.
And the Glassmen's final score tonight, 83.9.
This is the first position change of the night. The Bluecoats 84-3 moves up ahead of the Glassmen.
We've talked about visual props, so the percussion section has its assortment of toys and doodads too, in an area we affectionately call the pits. Earlier this week, Dennis DeLucia visited the Crossmen's pit.
One of the most significant developments in drum corps in the last decade is the expansion of pit percussion. Percussion instruments are divided into two groups, the tuned or melodic percussion instruments and the non-pitched instruments. On the tuned side, we have timpani. We have vibes made out of metal bars. We have a xylophone made out of wood bars. A marimba made out of wood. Crotales and orchestra bells made out of metal. On the non-pitched side, we have a drum set and kungas. And an assortment of toys and accessories such as cowbells and agogo bells. And when you put it all together, it sounds like this.
Right now, we find Dennis mysteriously deep in the backside stands with a ghostly apparition.
Yeah, Steve, I'm backfield here all by myself. Well, almost all by myself. This is Bones behind me, the spirit of the Crossmen. The legend is he represents Crossmen past, passing the mantle on to Crossmen present. It's the way of saying, go for it. It's your turn now.
And the Crossmen present are ready to take their turn tonight. The Corps from Bensalem, Pennsylvania is about to embark on the final year of a trilogy, Songs for the Planet Earth.
This year, a tribute to children. And you'll see that out on the field with childlike colors and costumes. You know, they qualified for this show with an 87.6, and I think they're going to want to build on that.
And I think you'll like their rendition of Chuck Mangione's Land of Make-Believe. Crossmen drum majors tell us more about their program tonight.
Hello, I'm Dawn Chapman.
And I'm Jamie Bennett.
And we're the drum majors for the Crossmen Drum and Bugle Corps from Bensalem, Pennsylvania. Our corps director is Ms. Esther Massano.
This year's show concludes our Songs for the Planet Earth trilogy and is entitled Sweet Children, a musical voyage through childhood. Enjoy the show.
Children are the future. What a season of strides for the Crossmen from a very uncertain spring. A solid-tempered program.
There's their littlest member now. Proof that children are the future of drum corps, too. Steve, this is a well-balanced show, performed with great sensitivity.
An 88.4 for the Crossmen in the finals.
Judges liked it, too. Looks like she could use a little help with that. The Crossmen staff preparing to move into the next generation of ideas. Going to be really exciting to see where they go.
Next up, our first Western Corps of the night, the Blue Knights of Denver, Colorado. Very good year for them. They've really built up their staff. They have a corps that's a good step up from past years.
Their semifinal score, an 89 even. Let's see how they perform tonight. Their show is Tritico. Everything is in threes, both visually and musically.
And here is the Blue Knight drum major.
Hello, my name is Mark Sound Dubois, and I'm the drum major for the Blue Knights. Our corps director is Mr. Mark Arnold. Our show this year is entitled Tritico by James Kernow. Enjoy the show.
And a big energetic finish from the Blue Knights from Denver, Colorado.
Very distinguished, kind of assertive performance from them tonight. There's something very refreshing about this Corps, something very refreshing about the show. They use beautiful colors like blues and magentas and lavenders, all the cool colors, and then they hit you with one big strong bolt.
There's that creative staff that put the program together. Some familiar names to Drum Corps fans. Now let's see how they did here with that show in the finals tonight. Whoa, an 88-4. Now that's a tie with the Crossmen.
The Blue Knights take ensemble, but the Crossmen actually edged them out in general effect and performance.
We've piqued your interest and you'd like to join a drum corps or to find out more about corps in your area, or maybe you're interested in a catalog of souvenir items, drum corps recordings, or future live shows. You can contact DCI at Post Office Box 548, Lombard, Illinois, 60148, or call toll-free 1-800-344-2772 to contact DCI. Next up, the Madison Scouts, always a crowd pleaser and one of the two remaining all-male corps. We like to call them the benchmark corps, the corps all the others are measured by.
This corps has so many strengths. They produce a sound and a look that's larger than life. Last night at semifinals, they finessed their way in with a 93-2. It's the details that stand out in my mind, the extravagant use of red, the way they evoke the passionate Latin flavor that make this corps a knockout.
I'm Kevin Feeney, drum major of the Madison Scouts from Madison, Wisconsin. Our corps director is Mr. Scott Stewart, and this year we will be playing a Latin jazz show. Enjoy the show.
to say it, Michael, I have to say it. This place is electric.
Yeah, that's the way to manipulate a crowd, huh? He knows it, and they know it, too.
The Madison Scouts lit this stadium in Foxborough up with an old drum corps favorite, Malaga.
Boy, oh boy, they captured the power and drama of that Latin push. Oh, the crowd was crazy. I'd be down on the ground, too. Oh, their final score, a 92-2.
It's our first corps to break the 90 barrier tonight.
And they have their own unique design philosophy. You can see it played out in the Las Vegas influence of their new color guard designer, Chad Dugan. He and the other fine staff members brought us that really exciting show.
Here comes our first California corps of the night, the venerable Vanguard from Santa Clara and their traveling prop truck.
They use overscale poppies and vivid banners to tell the tale of Russian and Chinese characters. That brought them a 93-6 last night in semifinals.
I hope to improve on that here tonight.
Hi, I'm Mike Shum, drum major for the Santa Clara Vanguard from Santa Clara, California. Our corps director is Dr. Len Krzyzewski, and this year we're doing The Red Poppy by Reinhold Glieri. Enjoy the show.
What a nice finishing touch for the Vanguard of Santa Clara, California, 5-time DCI champion.
The word that comes to my mind is abundance. Their visual repertoire is so layered, the effects are so complex, using musicians to handle flags and props. Part of the reason for that is this great staff. There's Dr. Len Krzyzewski, the director himself on visual, as well as Carl Lowe and Shirley Doherty, two of the famous names in color guard. And Michael Turner actually does the body for the whole corps. Beautiful, beautiful work.
And their score, 92.3. Now, that's just a 1/10 of a point over the Scouts. Michael, I want to see that big move again. What makes all that work?
Well, it's really the staging. Watch as all of those flags go in, hiding the Russian girls, and suddenly the Chinese ladies are revealed. It's a shock. All the focus goes to the largest poppy that comes down the 50. She enters center stage and then disappears behind a veil of fans.
You're watching the 1994 DCI World Championships on PBS. It is a chilly night. It has gotten rather brisk.
It sure has. I've gone from very hot to very cool. The cores just keep getting hotter and hotter, though.
That's it. We've got some hot entertainment to keep us warm. You know, they had some hot entertainment in another part of the country earlier this year. A program like Santa Clara is a very, very costly program to put on the field. Putting these big-time drum corps on the road costs a lot of money. In so many cases, the creativity of the drum corps has to extend to creative fundraising techniques as well. Well, this year, one of America's favorite corps found a unique solution to financial woes when a rocker got them out of a hard place. On the edge of the big western prairie lies a small town named Casper. Casper's drum corps, the Troopers, needed some help this year and got it from an unlikely source from another small town. Rocker John Mellencamp did a benefit for the Troopers this May, raising much-needed funds for America's Corps.
A little ditty that jams out. Two bad kids growing up in the heartland.
Mellencamp shares his heartland hometown with Bloomington Star of Indiana, so the Troopers might seem a surprising choice for the rock star. Well, that Casper connection came through Mellencamp's father, Richard, and Star's founder, Bill Cook.
It's the result of about 2 years of work. Happened about 2 years ago when Mr. Cook dropped by to visit for a few days. He brought a friend with him by the name of Richard Mellencamp. Happens to be John's dad. The Corps was having some financial problems at the time, and jokingly we said, well, you know, maybe John could come out and do a concert sometime. So about 6 months ago from now, called up Bill and said, it's not much better than it's been. And we started working on it. Tonight's the fruition of all that.
2460? Yes. Okay, thank you.
We placed advertising in 5 states and worked in cooperation with Mellencamp's production people as far as producing commercials for television and radio. We also involved the governor of the state and other officials to help support the drum corps.
The concert venue and most of the advertising were donated by various groups in Casper. All of the concert proceeds went directly to the Troopers. We're in Foxborough, Massachusetts, the Drum Corps International World Championships, the Summer Music Games. Warming up on the field right now, a former champion, Cavalier from Rosemont, Illinois.
Really deep, rich show this year, Steve. It's got a very dark coloration. In fact, the uniforms have been changed to dark. Very masculine, very assertive, very strong. They came in here last night with a 95.6, only 1/10 under the 3rd place Phantom Regiment.
Let's meet the Cavalier drum major.
Hi, my name is Dustin Winson. I'm drum major of the Cavaliers Drum and Bugle Corps from Rosemont, Illinois. Our corps director is Mr. Jeff Fiedler. This year our show is entitled Rituals. I hope you enjoy it.
striking performance here tonight, Michael, by the Cavaliers.
Steve, this show is really controversial. People either like it or hate it, and the judging community seems split by it as well. It's been rewarded very highly, but the judges disagree on what it really means down deep. No one is neutral. Here's a largely veteran staff bringing something really unusual to the field.
And we'll see how the judges rewarded it here tonight in the championships. Cavaliers, a 95.7. That's quite a distance from their nearest competitor.
That's a 3.5-point jump over Santa Clara, which ups the ante for our 3 remaining corps. They must produce great shows tonight or risk falling to the Cavaliers.
Well, you may wonder what these corps do in the minutes leading up to their performance. Preparation is critical. Dennis is in a place where fans don't normally get to go.
I'm in a parking lot about 300 yards away from the stadium. This is the area in which most corps warm up. This is hallowed ground tonight because behind me stands the horn line of the Blue Devils. How good have they been? In the last 20 years, 3rd place in brass twice, 2nd place in brass 6 times, high brass 12 times. Let's give a listen.
Thank you, Dennis. And the Devils. Back inside the stadium, another brass line known for quality and quantity of sound is that of the Phantom Regiment of Rockford, Loves Park, Illinois.
Yes, but this year, Steve, in addition to their trademark passion and power, they give us some moments of absolute repose. Beautiful translucent colors, transparent textures. It brought them a 95.7 last night, 1/10 ahead of the Cavaliers.
And conducting the regiment tonight.
Hi, my name is Nick Pilato. And I'm Roderick Saunders, and we're the conductors of the Phantom Regiment from Rockford, Loves Park, Illinois.
Our corps director is Mr. Doug Rutherford. This year's show is entitled Songs for a Summer Night. Music by Debussy and Bernard Herrmann.
Hope you enjoy the 1994 Phantom Regiment.
A big finishing move and some creative dissonance there. A big finish. But I have to tell you that Claire de Lune gets my vote for the prettiest musical moment of the year.
Certainly the contrast of those two is like the contrast of black and white in this corps. They use the black and white of Joan Miro. Look, they're crabbing off the field.
And the fans like that just fine, thank you.
Here's their staff. A lot of veterans on that one. Hall of Famer Jim Wren in his 26th year as the arranger of the Phantom Regiment.
And a final score of 96.2, a really high ensemble score. Phantom stays ahead of the Cavaliers and holds on to at least third place.
Up next, the Cadets of Bergen County with last year's top color guard. You can hand any kid a flag and they can spin it, but it's attitude that makes a color guard. How do you create a top-notch guard? Ask the experts.
To drill the manual of arms in motion, let's assume attention. Mark time. Mark. By shoulder, arms.
Over the last 20 years, Drum Corps color guard has changed just a little bit.
Ho.
Color guard champions, the Cadets of Bergen County, share their teaching philosophies.
It's not so much about spinning. It's not so much about what they can do, because manipulating a piece of equipment is the easiest thing that I could teach. It's about allowing the people that come through my program to become who they are, to know that anything they want to do in life, they have to work for it. And if I have somebody that can do a perfect whatever versus someone that has a very strong will to want to be the best they can be, then I go with that person.
In fact, it's the combination of precision equipment work and dazzling choreography that define today's color guard. We depend on the guard to convey the visual identity of each corps and to portray the theme of each show.
Since the Blue Devils are playing My Spanish Heart by Chick Corea, we started first of all looking at all the different things that we could use as motif throughout the program. Thus came the heartbeat, the heart shapes on the field, and the most important emotions that you relate to the heart, such as relationships, friendships, and love relationships. So we played off of that. The choreography always has interaction between couples, individuals, people working as a strong group to create the heartbeat, and it goes from there. Heartbeat is very, very important to the show, and the passion of that heart.
But teaching the true championship attitude goes beyond just themes and techniques.
No matter what you're doing, you're affecting people somehow. You know, whether that's correcting them on a plie, whether it's telling them their hand's wrong on count 5, whatever. You know, somehow you're affecting people. And if they leave here and they got something out of it, and I could do something for them in their life, not just through color guard or dancing, then I feel like I've done something great. You know, or at least I hope I have.
All right, defending champions, the Cadets of Bergen County, New Jersey, always do something great. They're tied with our top-seeded corps, the Blue Devils, in that each has won 6 world championships, more than anyone else. Well, somebody may make it 7 tonight.
The color guard can take a lot of credit for that semifinal score, 96-7.
And this is the return to the musical roots with West Side Story, the 10th anniversary of the winning West Side Story show, the Corps' 60th anniversary. A lot to celebrate.
Hi, my name is Ray King.
Hi, I'm Amy Young.
And we're the drum majors from the Cadets of Bergen County from Bergenfield, New Jersey.
Our corps director is Mr. George Hopkins. This year's show includes selections from West Side Story. Enjoy the show.
Music is movement. That's the cadet creed, and they certainly kept true to it with West Side Story tonight. Michael, a total package.
Total dangerous, emotional package. Unbelievable performance. This is the kind of show we expect from the cadets, and every year we get it. They're the come-from-behind kings.
That late season surge is something that has become a trademark.
Here's their staff. Mark Sylvester in that terrific visual book. Jim Moore and April Gilligan, we met them earlier. Tom Onks on percussion.
And check this out, 97.7. That's a full point better than their semifinal score. Michael, that's a point and a half ahead of Phantom, a huge gap at this level.
And at World Championship, these points don't come cheap.
For you longtime viewers may be wondering, where's Star of Indiana? Star has moved on to a new dimension in musical theater. One year ago, the Star of Indiana was a tenth of a point from winning the Drum Corps World Championship. This year, they're not even one of our finalists. Now, from the outside, it looks like Drum Corps as usual, but appearances can be deceiving. Star of Indiana chose not to compete in DCI this year, opting instead to produce their own brass theater show, performing on stage with the internationally known Canadian Brass. Corps Director Jim Mason explains.
The best way I can describe the show, it's almost like an Ed Sullivan variety show with brass instruments. You combine this, all these elements together, along with the visual, the lighting, the special effects, the stage-like atmosphere, which creates what brass theater is all about.
For the Star of Indiana, the benefit is having its name on the same marquee as the world-famous Canadian Brass. But what's in it for the brass?
In the brass world, we have a certain position that by coming to the Star, first of all, it makes them feel very, very good about themselves, that they're in an enterprise worthy of the Canadian Brass spending this kind of time with them. We like that relationship. We like to bring that to this enterprise because we do feel what they're doing is extremely worthwhile, and anything we can do to enhance that is valuable.
That's a lot better.
Some Corps fans have been critical of Star, suggesting the Corps picked up its toys and went home after narrowly missing that #1 spot last year. Star eagerly defends its experiment.
If they can't see the merit of what it means to kids, this is supposed to be a youth activity with kids. And if you look at exposing them to a world-famous brass quintet, to have them play 2 hours of musical literature versus 10 minutes, if you look at all the positives, it's just been a great learning experience for the entire organization. And I am absolutely thrilled we did it. I'm not looking back at all. Do I love Drum Corps? You betcha. But Star of Indiana is doing something very special this year, and I don't know of any organization that would take this level of risk because they were upset. I mean, it has nothing to do with scores. It has to do with the opportunities.
It has come down to this. The Blue Devils hold their destiny in their own hands as they attempt to cap an undefeated season with a title.
All year long, the Blue Devils have been the Corps to beat. Tonight may be the perfect end to the perfect season. It's really theirs to win or lose.
We've got a hard-driving show and one magnificent brass line. Let's meet their drum majors.
Hi, I'm James Bulkey. And I'm Jason Lewis. And we're the drum majors of the Concord Blue Devils from Concord, California. Our corps director is Mr. David Gibbs. This year's show is entitled My Spanish Heart. Musical selections composed entirely by Chick Corea.
Man alive, there were no gaps in that performance, at least not from our perspective.
Boy, strong thematic program, a clear visual presence. They showed such amazing control. It's rare to find a show this emotional and this close to perfect.
And that's exactly what it'll take to beat the Cadets of Bergen County with the show they put on tonight, too.
You know, when we see this staff, you see the importance of experience. They're the reason we can be looking at a perfect season tonight. Years of experience that really count. Jay Murphy, Wayne Downey, Scott Chandler.
Devils have to top a 97-7. And look at that. They've done it. They've done it. 98.4. The Blue Devils, an unprecedented 7th World Championship.
There is no one in the stands arguing with these results tonight. The Blue Devils really deserve this.
A 98.4. That kept them ahead of the Cadets of Bergen County by a healthy margin. Phantom Regiment, Cavaliers holding their position. Michael, quite a story developing here at number 5 and number 6.
You can say that again. At world-class level, you have to dot every I and cross every T. The difference between 5 and 6 is a 1/10 penalty for a minor rules infraction for the Madison Scouts.
Now, we mentioned earlier that tie that occurred at number 7. Really a victory for the Crossmen and probably a disappointment for the Blue Knights, who wanted 7th for themselves.
And, of course, the Bluecoats pounded their way into 9th position, moving up a spot at the expense of the Glassmen.
A big night of drum corps competition, but the night is not over yet. We have a special treat for you. We're going to climb into the DCI time machine, the 27th Lancer Alumni Corps from Revere, Massachusetts. In the 70s and early 80s, the 27th Lancers were DCI Dynamos and proud favorites. They hung up the competitive mantle in the mid-80s, but this year a dedicated group of alumni brought the Corps back to life, pointing toward this grand night in their own backyard.
And tonight, they will duplicate some of these vintage, classic 27th moves that made them favorites from coast to coast. Founder George Bonfiglio said, when we do something, we'll do it right, and they have. This is not a casual get-together. They are 240 strong. Who can forget Crown Imperial?
27th lives again. And DCI crowns a new champion. The Blue Devils going undefeated and winning an unprecedented 7th title.
It really has been a memorable, overwhelming evening. A great championship here in Boston.
For Michael Cesario and Dennis DeLucia, I'm Steve Rondinero. Thanks for joining us for the DCI World Championships. We close with 2-7 signature Danny Boy. Congratulations to the world champion Blue Devils, who defend their title next August in Buffalo, New York.
This program is made possible by grants from the Band and Orchestral Division of Yamaha Corporation of America, Drum Corps International, promoting the drum corps activity across North America, and by Pearl, the best reason to play drums.
If we've piqued your interest and you'd like to join a drum corps or to find out more about corps in your area, or maybe you're interested in a catalog of souvenir items, drum corps recordings, or future live shows, you can contact DCI at Post Office Box 548, Lombard, Illinois, 60148, or call toll-free 1-800-344-2772 to contact DCI.
For information about drum corps in Iowa or surrounding areas, contact the Colts, Post Office Box 515, Dubuque, Iowa 52004, or call area code 319-582-4872. Again, for drum corps information about a corps